Thank you for joining this presentation. First of all, I want to show certain numbers from 46% to 82%. These numbers are percentages of exploiting public-facing devices used as an initial access method. We collected this information from multiple public reports. Exploiting vulnerabilities and brute forcing and stolen credentials to infiltrate target network. This is the most major attack vector now. However, there is another major attack vector, especially in APAC. That is a USB. There are some threat actors groups who use a USB device as an initial access method. One is a Mustang Panda, who use a USB device to infect projects, and ANC 4191 and ANC 4698. These groups use USB device to infect their custom backdoors, and TA410. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about a recent TA410 campaign we observed this year, and I will do a deep dive into FlowCloud, which is one of the toolsets TA410 uses. And especially, I'm going to talk in the details about the FC client DLL, which is a RAT component of FlowCloud, and share some interesting points we found. Before I get to the main topic, please allow me to introduce myself briefly. I'm Hiroshi Takeuchi, security researcher at MACNICA, which is a security service provider in Japan. My main responsibilities are malware analysis and incident response. I've spoken at some security conferences to share our research. One is the shadow part, and the another is road info. They are cyber espionage RAT. And I've written some threat analysis report regarding cyber espionage targeting Japan. This is the agenda of this presentation. First, I'm going to talk about the TA410's camp activities, which use FlowCloud. TA410 is said that China Nexus threat actor and has a connection with the TA429, as known as APT10, based on observed TTPs like macro and the C3 infrastructure. It is said that the TA410 consists of 3 subgroups, and it is flowing flow that use FlowCloud. The first observed the campaign which used the FlowCloud is 2019 spear phishing email campaign targeting US public utilities. And in 2020, FlowCloud dropper document was uploaded to VirusTotal. And based on decoy content, we believe that Taiwanese government was targeted. And around 2022, we observed a campaign targeting Japanese enterprises over the multiple sectors. And I will explain that campaign in the details in a later slide. And FlowCloud. FlowCloud is a RAT which provides multiple rich remote control features like audio recording and screenshot, and install the rootkit driver, and supports dynamically installing the plugin module from a remote site. FlowCloud is developed by a C or C++ language and using open source libraries. And its installation chain and execution flow is a kind of complicated, involving multiple files. There are multiple versions of FlowCloud we have observed. The oldest version is 4.1.3, and the latest version is version 6 we've observed and analyzed this year, March. Some of the files are related with FlowCloud their timestamps seem to be forged. But from our experience and analysis and incident response, one of the files whose internal name is xxx module underscore funcdl. Its timestamp seems to be consistent with the real attack date. And there is one interesting configuration field, which is ID prefix. ID prefix is used to create the ID to identify compromised device. And ID is created with ID prefix and installation date and compromised machine hostname. And so ID can be helpful for incident response because it contains the real installation date. And I'm going to explain in detail Operation USB Flowing. This is one of the campaigns which using a FlowCloud, and a USB device is used to infect a FlowCloud. So we named it Operation USB Flowing. So this is the installation chain. The installer is stored in the USB device, and USB device is connected with a target device like a laptop and a desktop. And once installer is run, the dialog in the and the top right, upper right side will show up and ask if installation in C drive is okay or not. And if press the yes button, FlowCloud related multiple files are deployed in the connected devices. And once installation completed, the dialog shows up and advise to reboot the machine to take effect. And this is a configuration of the FlowCloud installer. As this screenshot shows, Chinese characters is used to explain some section of the configuration. And we believe that FlowCloud is developed for Chinese-speaking people. There is one anti-forensic technique during the installation. The directory where the FlowCloud related files are deployed is hidden with system and hidden attributions. And to get the FlowCloud files, we need to remove these attributions by using attrib command. After that, we can see the FlowCloud related files. So why USB? There are two major reasons. One is to target the air-gapped network, where the USB device is used for exchanging data between physically separated networks. And the second reason is easy to handle for infection. An actor can store one-time malware to spread in targeted networks, and the actor can submit or send a USB device disguising as a legitimate software. And another one is for manual operation, classic espionage. An actor can intrude the target office or buildings and insert a USB device to compromise the devices. In FlowCloud case, the second reason is makes sense. And FlowCloud is not a worm type malware, so legitimate software camouflage or manual operation is, I think, a big reason. And from our observation, we presume that the name of the installer is not the general software like a Microsoft. And two dialogue shows up to tell the status of our installation. From that reason, now we think the kind USB device is maybe used for classic espionage, but now we cannot confirm it. So this is a USB flowing timeline. From our observation, we believe that this campaign started around 2021 October. And in 2022, multiple organizations were targeted. And this year, March, we observed the version 6 FlowCloud. And one interesting thing is that from our observation, all targets were Japanese organizations, branch offices in China. From here, I'm going to explain about the execution flow. And this slide shows the version 5.0.7 and the version 5.0.8 execution flow. Once installation completed and the related files were deployed in the compliant devices, and the service is created to run the setrun exe, which is a legitimate exe over Microsoft Word 2003. And once this exe is run, the malicious DLL, setrun DLL, were loaded, and in the memory, the shellcode is decrypted, and the shellcode with the another encrypted file, setrun long data, and again, shellcode is decrypted, and shellcode with another data, encrypted data, rescue that, which is an encrypted file over XSS module func DLL. And finally, in the memory, the FlCloud DLL, which is a RAT component, FlowCloud, is run in the memory and with the installation configuration and communicate with the C2 server. And this is the version 6 execution flow. There is no big difference between version 5.0.8 and version 6. One difference is that setrun exe and the setrun log DLL, malicious DLL, are renamed to a go exe and a go log DLL. And these files are embedded in alternate data stream of a setrun exe. And the created service runs not setrun exe, but a go exe embedded in ADS of a setrun exe. And the subsequent steps remain unchanged. So maybe to circumvent some process monitoring security solution like EDL. And as I mentioned, GoExe and GoLockDL are embedded in ADS of a setrun exe. And regarding rootkit driver, rootkit driver of a version 6 supports Windows 11 22 second half. And meanwhile, the probable stolen certificate continue to be used for the still latest version. And this certificate is already revoked. So this suggests that the still revoked certificate can be helpful for loading malicious drive. Regarding FlCloud DLL, not a big difference between version 6 and version 5.0.8. And some new plugin modules are added to version 6. And one is message Firefox password info, and other plugin modules probably related with DNS. This year, July, one interesting binary was uploaded to VirusTotal. This file is actually a FlowCloud version 6 installer. But there are some differences between this installer and version 6 we've analyzed in our response, in our incident response. One is XSS module funcDL is VM protected. Actually, we've never seen VM protected is used for one of the FlowCloud related files. And a new plugin I mentioned in my previous slide are missing in this module. And the third one is compile date of the XSS module funcDL. This date is December 20, 2022, 3 months before we observed version 6 in the field. So from these information, we believe that this sample is probably a debug or a test purpose version. And the FlowCloud C2 infrastructure. Well, most of the FlowCloud C2 servers are located in China. And some of C2 are shared among different versions and their lifetime is a kind of long, over 6 months or about 1 year. And we cannot be sure, but there may be some reason for law enforcement. It's difficult to take down these C2 servers. And from here, I will do a deep dive into FlCloud DL code. So FlCloud DL is statically linked with multiple open source libraries. And the number of the functions is about 13,000. IDA Pro reversing tool works well to identify the benign library functions. But in this case, still about 11,000 functions cannot be identified. So this is one big challenge for analysts, especially reverse engineering. And to overcome this challenge, I want to share 3 approaches in this presentation. One is IDA signature. We can use our original signature to identify the some function. To create our own signature, IDA signature, we need some information. One is a compiler version. Because the IDA signature needs to be created from the compiled built binary and with the debug information to identify the function. And all files of the FlowCloud are built by MSVC 9.0 Visual Studio 2008. From the detect it's easy, it's very useful to identify file type. And the open source library components are used for FlowCloud. In version 4, protocol buffer and SQLite are used. And in version 5, protocol buffers, Boost, and Z-thread and SQLite are used. Fortunately, we could get the open source library versions from the FlCloud DL binary from the left string. And the protocol buffer is its version is the 2.5.0, and the Boost its version is the 1.55, and the Z-thread is unfortunately we could not get exact version from the binary, but comparing with the multiple source code of Z-thread, we believe that 3.2. And the SQLite is version is 3.7 and 16. So we could get the necessary information to make the IDA Pro Plus signature. First, we need to build the open source target version binaries by using Microsoft Visual Studio 2008 SP1. And from the compiled binary, we can make the IDA Plus signature to identify these open source library functions. And this is a result of the Plus signature matching. And actually, the result was not as good as I expected. And I presume that that is because of STL templates and somehow the compiler optimization mismatching. I tried the debug and release version with the debug information, but the result was not good. And the second approach is source code review. From FlCloud DL binary, we can get some open source library, the debug message with the source code line number. So comparing with the source code and the FlCloud binary, we can get the original function names. And the third approach is a bindiff, which is a very popular tool to identify the matching functions between two binaries. And after we match the functions, we can import the symbols and the function information from the original binary function. And by combining the flat signature and the source code review and bindiff, I could identify about 5,000 library, open source library functions. This is not 100% accurate, but I believe that this is helpful for analysts, especially it's for the analyst. It's the first time to analyze the FlCloud DL. And I'm going to share the flat signature of the FlCloud DL I created for a public repository by the end of this month. And next, I want to consider the developer of FlowCloud. This is FlowCloud development directory file hierarchy I recovered from the FlCloud DL binaries. We can do that because some file path information is embedded in the FlCloud DL binary. And from the under the source directory, there are some directory. One is the KMSPY, is a rootkit driver, and the FC client is the FlCloud DL. And the FC include suggests that common include file is deployed this directory. And I guess that FC server directory is also under the source directory. And maybe I guess that FlowCloud C2 server is also developed by MSVC. And one interesting directory is trunk. Trunk is the main directory for the source code management software subversion. From that, I believe that developer of FlowCloud use the subversion for source code maintenance. And again, I paid attention to the open source libraries. And in this case, I paid attention to the release date of open source libraries. So compiler is MSVC, is a kind of old, and the protocol buffer release date is about 2015, and the Zthread 2.32 is released about 2005, and the Boost and the SQLite, those release version is released around 2013. So as we feel that like the open source library and the compiler is a kind of old, and we presume that FlowCloud may be developed in older times than we expected from the public report information. And we could confirm that our presumption was correct. We found that the FlowCloud installer was uploaded to the BioStoter in 2015. Well, actually, the feature of the installer is very simple, just to delete the FlowCloud related files and delete the registry values created during the installation. So FlowCloud was long-term RAT than we expected. So why all RAT is still effective in 2023? Loading a decrypted payload from an encrypted file in a memory still works for circumventing the security solution in 2023, still now. And I want to introduce another long-term RAT used by the China Nexus architect. This execute RAT is decrypted in a memory from the embedded encrypted code in the malicious DLL. And this RAT was used from 2008 to 2019 at least. So this kind of the long-term RAT, and this kind of technique is one of the favorite China Nexus actors' favorite techniques. From defender's point of view, we can get some useful information from the decrypted code. 2015 installer and 2023 this year FC Client DL still share the common event name. So we can use this information for detecting malicious payload. So conclusion, USB is a classic technique, but still aggressively used and effective. So device control via EDRs or some other asset management software can be a basic countermeasure. And as I showed in this presentation, compiler and open source library versions can be helpful for our research and hunting. And in our research, we could uncover that FlowCloud was already existed in 2015, 4 years before public information. And memory vision is still a sweet spot for adversaries, so memory scan approach is effective for defenders. That's all for my presentation, and thank you for listening. I'm going to upload the flash signature I created and some IOCs covered in this presentation by the end of this month. And after the conference, if you have any question, you can contact this Twitter account. Thank you.
Thank you.